one thing though. Okay, well, so we're live here. This is aft. So let me turn this around so you can see. As soon as I find the right button to push. There we go. Put my hat on now that you're not looking at me because the sun is going down, but it still is potent. Okay, Jeffrey, so glad you've joined us. So here we are aft the Regal Princess, and Wendy's here, and Becky, thank you for joining us. So we are supposed to be leaving in 3 minutes, but of course, as always, tenders are slower, so I don't know how soon it's gonna be. But we have spent a delightful day here in Edinburgh, Queensferry. So right now looking aft and looking out to sea. So Alexandria, hi. Thank you for joining us, and everybody else who's here, Melody and so on. Allison is downstairs on a phone call because last night she tried to make some calls and the Wi-Fi was not very good. If you saw our tattoo video, the Scottish military tattoo video that we put up last night, an hour and 15 minutes, and I apologize, it's not the best resolution, but I tried to go high enough resolution that it was enjoyable. However, it was a 3 gigabyte file, and it took at least 12 hours to upload. So that tells you where our Wi-Fi is at. If I was at home, that may have taken half hour, 40 minutes. So definitely a little bit different Wi-Fi here on board than at home. So, but here we are looking out to sea, and this is the aft pool. Very enjoyable. I went swimming the other day and I really enjoyed it. So we are, yeah, Jeffrey, well, actually AOL dial-up won't be faster any longer. That's going away shortly. Hi, Hetty. Glad to have you with us. So like I said, Allison is making a couple of phone calls while she has cellular service. So, but just an actual beautiful day here. Yeah, there's some clouds, but it was just beautiful here. That's, I would say, north. So that's on the opposite side. And then this is, well, it may be slightly off of, you know, the direct points of the compass. But there's the bridge back there. And so, yeah, Jeffrey's lifetime subscription to AOL is probably finally going to end. So that's the rail bridge you can catch a glimpse of back there. And that bridge was built in the late 1800s. So still going. 130 years at least, maybe 140. You can see a tender. There's the water shuttle. So he's finished his service, and let me come around where we can see him out there. So he's going around empty so that he can be lifted up on the winch over here on, that'd be on the starboard side. So I assume once he's done, the second one will also go over to be winched up. So hopefully shortly after that, we'll be able to get underway. We had a delightful day here in Edinburgh. We, let me So show you this bridge again. And at the foot of the bridge, just beyond it, is the part of the town of Queensferry. Let me get over here even further. I agree with Hetty. I can think of that sound in my head, but of course, I did watch You've Got Mail on the airplane as we flew over here a couple weeks ago. So two weeks ago tonight, Friday, yep. So there at the foot of the bridge, you can see there's Queensferry's over there. Let me zoom in a little bit. There you go. Yes, the Firth of Forth. And right here at the foot of the bridge is a cluster of buildings. And we met up with Fiona and Gordon Alder and had lunch with them at the Hawes Inn. That's Hawes Point, from what I remember. But we had, hi Kay, how are you? So we had lunch with them at the Hawes Inn. Of course, I had to have fish and chips. What else do you have when you're at a British pub? I'm not going to say English. It was Scottish, so I'm just going to say it's a British pub. And so we had fish and chips and sticky pudding, sticky toffee pudding. Very good. And delightful company that joined us. So had just a wonderful time. So we got ashore in time early so we could have lunch. And then after lunch, we hopped on a excursion, and the bus took us across the bridge, not this one. Beyond that, there is two more bridges. One was built in the 1970s, 60s or 70s, a standard suspension bridge. And so that is now for there's trains on this one, but the other one is for buses and taxis. And then the newer bridge that you can see, the pillar, one of the pillars in the distance, it was built more recently, just in the last 20 years. And that's where all the standard automobile traffic goes across now. So we got to go north on that bridge and then came back on the suspension bridge that's there from the 60s or 70s. So we went to an abbey, Dunfermline, and it's about, not more than 15 minutes after you cross. So total time of maybe 25, 30 minutes. So we went to the abbey, and it is the abbey that was built by Mary, Queen of Scots, I guess. Well, older than that. It goes back to the 11th century, is when some of the first building took place. But royalty stayed there for years, off and on. It is actually the former capital of Scotland. And then, let's see, Emil, somewhere down below. And so we got to go to the abbey. The king, Robert the Bruce is buried there, as well as at least 5 or 6 other kings. So some royalty definitely involved there. So it's interesting to see the differences in architecture, you can definitely, when you look at it, you can see what was older, what's newer. Part of it's 100 and some years old. That part of it is hundreds, multiple hundreds of years old. So just quite the history there. So we got to wander around there and took the tour. They talked to us about that. So that was interesting. And then we had some free time. One of the unique things, though, this is Friday. Today is Friday. And for some reason, a lot of the places that were there closed at 4 o'clock. There was a library, and it had a cafe, and the cafe had closed at 4. There was Carnegie, as they pronounce it. It's actually down the hill a block or two from the Abbey is the birthplace of Andrew Carnegie. And when he started collecting his wealth and then deciding to create libraries, Carnegie Library number 1 is located next to the Abbey. So that was where he donated for the first library. And of course, he's donated for hundreds around the world. So this 4th tours, they're used for water shuttle back and forth. So there was that one, and there were two tenders. So Carol D, I am here. Mary, Queen of Scots, is a long-distance relative from the Stuarts on my dad's side of the family. That's wonderful. Yeah, they talked about the Stuarts. They talked about... so apparently Carnegie and his brother were not allowed to play on some of the land that was around the Abbey because their father was simply a laborer. And so they were kind of looked down upon, and they were not allowed to play there. So after he amassed his wealth and started buying land and donating libraries, he bought that land from the people who were not so kind to him. And in fact, Allison and I had to chuckle because it was from the Forbes clan, and that is her maiden name, which we've been checking up on things such as at the Culloden battleground yesterday, seeing where the Forbes clans fought. She's picked up a few, I think we got a blanket that has the Forbes tartan, and she also got a plaque. So she had to kind of chuckle that somewhere in her ancestry somebody Carnegie snubbed, and that's fine. So so you can see we're turning around here. So I'm going to go aft again. So there's the bridges. You can see, again, you can see the three towers in the back of the concrete towers for the newest bridge. And then the middle bridge, you really can't see. There's 2 towers of the suspension bridge, and then this closest bridge is the first bridge that was built in the late 1800s, and it's the bridge that takes the trains across. So I'm going to go back over here as we go around so that we keep pointing to some of the same stuff. So there goes that boat under the bridge. Come around here, you'll be able to see a tug and a couple other boats. And he's been there's 2 of them actually. They've been kind of sitting here all day, and I guess they kind of patrol to make sure that we don't get away from the moorings. I guess they drop anchor. I don't think they just sit here and I do know there are some places where they do just, such as Santorini, it's too deep for an anchor. But some places they just let the motors run. All right, let's see if that does any better. I think it may have picked up the ship's Wi-Fi, but I want to be on cellular. So I got 12 people here, so it dropped off a few. Does anybody hear me? Still says I'm live. Okay, sounds like we're back. Can you see anything? I'm moving left to right here. Okay. So is there a picture? Okay, wonderful. Glad. All right. Perfect. So, yeah, we lost it for a minute. I apologize. It somehow got picked up onto the ship's Wi-Fi. So here we go. Hopefully this will hang around better. Thank you for those that have rejoined. So there you can see the sun off in the distance. With the clouds, you can tell we've had cloudiness, and so we've had sunshine, we've had clouds. It's been wonderful. So good. So that is Edinburgh off in the distance down there. You probably can't see it the way I can, but I can see buildings and such. See the mountain that sticks up in the middle is this side of Edinburgh, and then the castle is down that way. So the latest on Alaska. So we are still trying to figure that one out. We just haven't had time to think about that. We felt that Japan needed a little bit more attention in figuring out our schedule. So we got Japan figured out. We have some thoughts on Alaska and just haven't had a minute to iron those out. So, okay, I'm glad that everybody can see again. Let me come back here so you can see the bridge as we depart. Just a beautiful day here that we've had. We just really enjoyed being here. This is always such a wonderful place to visit. So there's Fiona. So Fiona, are we supposed to see you shortly, or let us know? But just a beautiful, beautiful port here. If you have not been to Edinburgh, you definitely need to put it on your list. It is definitely some place that is worth visiting. Of course, again, we were here Tuesday night for the Scottish Tattoo, but that was driving from the other side of the country. We drove an hour and a half to 2 hours from Glasgow to come to Edinburgh to attend the tattoo, the military tattoo, which was just absolutely wonderful. So I did? Yes.
Everything is now.
It had caught the Wi-Fi, so, but it's all back.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to say hi really quick. I'm going to zip downstairs in a minute because
This
we
is
have
one of
dinner
those
time.
divide and conquer.
Look at that house over there, or maybe it's a
The manor.
manor or a castle.
Becky says hi.
Oh, hi there, Becky. How are you doing? Oh, hi there, Alexandria. Nice to see you. We've got Fiona. They're cutting across the channel in front of the ship to Edinburgh. Probably about 15 minutes until you reach us.
Okay.
Oh, how fun. So Fiona, know that I love you. I just have to go inside since we have a group and we're going to eat dinner with them. So Gordon's gonna stay here and wave. And I'm sorry I have to miss the fun, but we got fun in there. So thanks again for a lovely day. We had the best time, truly. It's lovely to see you. Hi there, Melody. How are you doing? Okay, hey, Wendy. Nice to see you. And Carol, thank you.
Jeffrey
you guys are
was
so
here.
nice all
Hetty
for
was
saying
here.
hi. Thank you, thank you.
Have a Coke. Who else?
Have a Coke. Yeah.
Jane. Kay.
It's nice to see everybody. You guys are
Emil.
wonderful.
Who's Emil? Joy.
Nice to see you too.
So,
Daddy can hear now, and
yeah.
William. Good. It is so beautiful out, isn't it? You just have to let the magic of Scotland wash over you.
Yeah, I told them if they've not been here, this is a definite
This is
must-do.
amazing. It is. Yeah, this is amazing. There are a lot of places in Europe. This isn't Europe, but it's Europe. It's over here by Europe that I don't need to go again, but this is an amazing place. This is a place, come anytime you can.
So here's a funny thing. I get notifications on here when I leave my AirPods in the cabin.
Yeah.
This one says, your AirPods are not by you. They were last seen near the Firth of Forth.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's just really beautiful.
It's a notification I'll have to keep just because it's cool.
Mm-hmm. It's really pretty.
Fiona says we'll pass a red and white lighthouse. Yeah, we see that.
Oh, good. Yeah,
and
we
a red
see
marker
that.
buoy. We're just a bit further on. Okay.
Okay. Red marker buoy. They're just a little further on. Okay.
There's a seal out there.
For those of you that weren't here when we did this last year, it was just the funnest thing.
It was magical.
It was more than magical.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a miracle. This age you can meet up on the ocean.
Yeah.
It's remarkable and just extra special. So I'm sorry I have to miss it this time.
So while we're waiting, so we're up on deck 18. We've shown you that before. The sport court's right here. And it's a set of stairs you have to come up. Well, apparently up on deck 19, they had a whole bunch of the loungers.
Uh-huh.
And so they had crew that were taking those down.
Oh, Gordon, show them the direction that way. Look
Yeah.
how pretty.
Oh yeah, we were watching that. And
Good.
so the crew was moving them down. Well, they
You
would
don't
just
have to show the ship. Well, I guess people like to see the ship.
they would put the
Dial it over a little.
they would put the lounger at the top of the stairs and just let it slide down the stairs until the boss showed up.
Uh-oh, really?
Then they were carrying them down the stairs.
Yeah, there you go. And there you go. I'm gonna zip downstairs so that I'm not late. I love
Okay.
you all. Have a nice sail away. You come when
You
you're
just
done.
turn it off and I'll put it in my pocket.
you sure?
Yeah. Okay. No, thanks. Okay. So if they're going to be, so Fiona's going to be beyond that little lighthouse. Yeah, when the boss isn't around, do it the easy way. It was funny because I stepped out of the elevator with a crew member and he was apparently the boss. because we look over and we see this lounger come flying down the stairs, tut, 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 and you can tell he's just kind of like, oh yeah. And so the minute that the guy at the bottom of the stairs saw him, he kind of frantically tells his buddy at the top of the stairs, do not let the next one slide down. And so I kind of turned to the boss guy and I said, guess when the boss shows up, all the fun ends. And he kind of chuckles. I'm sure in his time he would have probably done the same thing. He knows it, they know it, but they also know that it is not the proper thing to do, so they better do it the right way so no one gets hurt. So let me go to the other side again for a minute before we get up here to the lighthouse so you can see our view. A fair amount of people over here on the sport court. People running on the track, a few people walking. So all right. I see 3 sailboats out here. Fiona, are you behind us, or were you able to get ahead of us? Let me come over here. Oh, this is something. Here is a little island and appears to have a castle or fortress. The reason spans you are passing Inchholm. Beautiful. So let me pull up here. All right. That is really cool. I assume that it probably had some military use in the past, and now it's just an idealistic little cove there and little castle, fortress, manor. Just iconic Scottish. So just beautiful. All right, and I see some sailboats ahead of us, so ignore the sailboats with sails, you on your left side. We are on the Edinburgh shore on starboard. Okay, I will go back to starboard in a minute. Just wanted to let everybody see what was over here, and I'm glad I did. I think that is beautiful right there. That is really, really nice. So I'll just stay here for a minute, and then we'll zip back over to the Edinburgh side. So I don't know how well you can see these buoy markers. There's one right smack in the middle of the screen, and it's green. And when we go to the other side, all the ones on that side will be red. So definitely nautical. Those of us that grew up with any seagoing history. So, all right. So let's go back over to the other side. Beautiful, beautiful. Let you see a little bit of the blue sky peeking through up there. You're also kind to hang around and listen to me blabber on. I know that the better half is a much better conversationalist, much more pleasing voice to listen to. But we definitely wanted to be able to still give you a Sailaway. Because we love to share this. This is, to us, one of the funnest parts of the journey, is as we depart from a port. We just love to share this. All right, so here is the little red and white sail lighthouse. There's a marker, red marker. I assume there may be more up here. I see a sailboat in the distance, so let me get up here. Okay, have a Coke, thank you. I see a sailboat, and it is the only sailboat on this side, so I'm assuming that it is Gordon and Fiona. Again, as Allison mentioned, last year we did the same thing. Just magical to be able to be here up on the Regal Princess, seeing this beautiful Sailaway, beautiful countryside here in Scotland, and then to have such dear people join us. So I don't know if you can see their sailboat yet, right smack in the middle of the screen. There's their sailboat. Fiona, you'll have to tell us what is the name of your yacht. And yes, we were told that they are letting it go. There they are. I'm going to try to hold this as still as I can. Yeah, I'm going to have to wave. Tell us a little bit about it. Looks like a single mast. I assume you're probably about 32 foot long, maybe. So Ronald telling us about some of the wonderful trips that he's been able to do as well. So there's Fiona down there. Sonus, it's a Moody 29-footer. Wonderful. Just so happy to have you with us. So I am aft, Fiona. I'm going to zoom back out so that it's not as jumpy. You know, I got to zoom in so everybody can see, though. So I'm up here. A little chilly out here today, isn't it? Can you see me? And everybody waving, little waving icons, emoticons, thank you. Thank you for a wonderful lunch, Fiona and Gordon. Have a Coke is waving from Toronto. Let me zoom back out so it's not so jumpy. All right, I'm gonna go aft so you can see him better again. Okay, let me zoom out so it's not so jumpy. There we go. Good thing you're cutting across our aft and not our bow. Proper thing to do. Just enjoyed having a wonderful day here in Edinburgh. There we go. All right, let's zoom back in. I'm on the stern. Okay, I'm gonna go to the other side so they can see their town with the sandy bay. Okay, I can see that. Oh, look at all the sailboats. Everybody's out for an evening sail. Just lovely. There you go. People running downwind, they've got their jibs out. Don't see anybody with any spinnakers. Okay, so they are in the right smack in the middle of our wake there. What a wonderful, oh, thank you so much for coming out and seeing us off. So wonderful. All these sailboats out here just having a nice evening sail. It is 7:30. Feels like it's in the upper 50s. Bye-bye, Fiona. Fiona and Gordon, we'll see you on the Love Boat. Yeah, it's a beautiful evening for a nice sail. The water's calm. It's a little chilly, but it always is on the water. You put on your windbreaker, put on your hat. And my dad used to have a keychain on our boat. Right or wrong, I'm still the captain. So just used to love when Ronald will enjoy this. We used to get out there on Newport Harbor. We rented a home one year. I was only 8 years old. Rented a home down there on Bayside Drive, just below where Ronald lives. And we actually leased it for the year, and that was when we fell in love with, I mean, my parents knew about Newport. They'd loved it, but the rest of the family, we all just fell in love with Newport Beach. We had a little 18-foot tri-hole that we kept on the dock there, and we'd go up and down the harbor. We'd take it out in the ocean, out past the jetty. At the mouth of Newport Harbor is a buoy, and it's okay. Fiona says they're all out there for their racing, weekly racing. Well, we'd go out because the seals would nap on that buoy, so we'd go out and circle the buoy and look at the seals. And that was in the days when you could water ski in the upper bay up of Newport. And nowadays that upper bay is mostly a reserve. You can still putt around up there a bit, but there's no water skiing anymore. But I remember going up there with my siblings. I was on the tail end, so I used to sit in the boat and I'd hold up the flag for the water skiers. And my older siblings who were getting into their teen years would water ski. If you've ever seen a Disney movie called, can't remember what it was called. Super Dad. There we go. Super Dad with Bob. He played Hogan's Heroes. He was the star of Hogan's Heroes. He was the dad in the movie, and of course Kurt Russell was in there. But they water skied one afternoon, and that was where they did the filming. And they also did, I think, that they did some of the filming for the original Freaky Friday back there as well. Bob Crane, thank you, Carol. So just a fun area. The Newport Dunes are still there. There's a Marriott resort back there and such. Just a beautiful area down there in Newport Beach, California. So fell in love. That's when I got my love of the ocean. My dad, born and raised in Long Beach, just to him, the ocean was it. And so he built a boat when he was in his teens, he and a buddy, and they launched it there. He built another one later on when my parents were courting, and they launched it and immediately sank with my mom. But she hung around and ended up marrying the guy. So that's my mom and dad. So let me come around over here where you can see more of the city. Hi, Marty. Glad you could join us. So Carol lived 2 years in Anaheim and 3 in Oceanside's beautiful too. So there's, I don't know how much you can see, but let me zoom in. A little less quaint here. It's more standard big buildings and such, but still Scotland. So happy to be here. I'll zoom back out so we can just have it from a distance. Guess it is. Yep, that's as far out as it goes. Have another island here. Looks like, I know there's a lighthouse on top of it. Let me get over here, we're a little closer. And this may be where we're getting kind of to the end of the cell coverage. So after we pass this island, I'll go ahead and bid you all a good night. But let's come out here where you can see. So there we go. P. Charlie grew up in San Diego and picked up my mom with his boat. No sinking though. Bird Sanctuary. Thank you, Fiona. So P. Charlie 100. My dad rented a Inch Keith. Okay. My dad rented a 48-foot downeaster that we sailed one day in San Diego Harbor. Just back and forth across the harbor. I think there was most likely an aircraft carrier that we scooted around. Wonderful memories from that day. Fiona's bobbing about back there, so it's a little hard for her to type. But yeah, I was probably 18 when my dad did that, and we just had a wonderful day just sailing back and forth across San Diego Harbor. Beautiful, beautiful place. We used to rent a couple of sailboats, probably more about the size of what Fiona had there, 32-foot, and we'd take it out from Newport out up and down the coast. One day, so we had a 16-foot Hobie Cat. Anybody who knows what a Hobie Cat is, it's a catamaran. Has 2 holes side by side with a canvas tarp between them. And of course, the fun thing you want to do on a catamaran is fly a hole where you get, so you are only in with one in the water and one in the air. And of course, the first time you do it, you're going to tip over. which we did. But we got pretty good at it, my brothers and I, and so we'd love to just scoot back and forth across Newport Harbor. We'd go from where my parents had their house. They actually ended up buying a house in 72 and they had it for 20 years. But we'd go between where their house was over towards where John Wayne's house was. Nice big stretch of Newport Harbor right smack in the middle, and we'd go back and forth. And so one day my brother, who's about 4 years older than me, and I would have been 16, so he was 20, so I would have been 17, he was 21. We hopped on the Hobie Cat, and we sailed out of the harbor. From where the house was to the harbor entrance was a good 40-minute sail. And so we thought we'd get to the harbor entrance because, you know, the ocean can be a little more wavy and some swells and such. And as we came to the harbor entrance, we saw a pod of porpoises swim by. And so that intrigued us. You know, a couple of, 17, 21-year-old boys, you know, you're going to have to check out the pod of porpoises. So we went out of the harbor entrance and we followed them down the coast. And it was just fun to watch them as they would jump and dive in front of us. And before we realized it, we'd gone down the coast about an hour. And it got us almost as far as Dana Point. So we figured that was probably a good time to turn around. And as we got to the harbor entrance, there are my parents coming out in our bay boat, we called it, to look for us. So we had been gone 2.5 hours, and so they were wondering where we'd gotten to. So we didn't get in trouble. We had told them where we were headed. They'd just gotten concerned because it had been a while. So here's the pilot. Macy on the port side is her town over there. Show the pilot here for a minute, then we'll go over the other side, and then we'll have to probably sign off. So let's watch this pilot. Thanks, Hetty. Okay. Well, the pilot's up underneath the lifeboats there. So, yeah, Carol, that is quite a ways to go. So, again, we didn't get in trouble. Some concerned parents. All right, I'm going to come back over on the other side so we can see. Let's see. Macy, so past her town on the port side here. There's the sun set through the clouds. There's the town over there. Couple of towns over there, so just a beautiful view. Let's check out here aft for a little bit. And then we'll probably give it another couple minutes. Let you see this island over here. Again, I'm up on deck 18, this deck 17, both sides aft here on the smoking section. There's the aft pool. Beautiful sunset. There goes the pilot boat. See him off in the distance now. Beautiful island. All right. Let's just see a beautiful aft view for a few minutes. And thank you all for joining us. So let me give you a quick rundown. Tomorrow is a sea day. Tonight we actually lose an hour. And so that's kind of nice in a way that tomorrow is the sea day so we can sleep in. So we'll change time so that we will be the same time, because on Saturday, no, tomorrow is Saturday. On Sunday, we will dock. Our next port is Le Havre, France. We have an excursion to go to Monet's home, and so that is our day there. And then from there, that's, I think, an all-day thing. And so we will then come back, and that will be our last night, because the next day we'll get our hour back, which is nice. But the next morning that will be Sunday. So Monday morning we dock back in Southampton. And then we disembark, and that is the end of our journey this year for the British Isles. We hop on our plane and we will be home Monday night. So it's been a wonderful 12-day sailing. We've had a wonderful time. We're not done yet. We still got a couple of days. So, hey, Michael, thank you for joining us here as we're about to sign off. So that is our schedule for the rest of the cruise. Day tomorrow, Saturday, Havre on Sunday, and back to Hazel. Allison went to dinner. She was here for a minute, and then she ran down to entertain our group cruise people for dinner. So, and the Monday morning we hop back. We end this beautiful, beautiful journey that we've had. If you saw some of our early videos, we flew out 2 weeks ago tonight, and we drove the English countryside for 4 or 5 days before we hopped on the ship Wednesday morning. So just having a lovely time. Thank you all for joining us. We love and appreciate all of you. We will be back. I don't expect any video on Monday unless we do something Sunday night, getting ready for Monday. I think Monday nothing's going to happen. We get home late Monday night, so but back at headquarters on Tuesday. So watch for our upcoming back to the standard videos. We will be home for 6 or 7 weeks. No travels on the horizon other than a quick trip to visit our daughter, a couple other quick weekend things. So other than that, we will be home. We will be settled in for a little bit, trying to catch up on quite a few things. And then our next one is the inaugural on the Star out of Barcelona in October. That we plan to have a lot of coverage so that you can join with us as we find out how the Star is, especially in comparison with the Sun. So we are excited to embark on a new ship and share that with you. So thank you all for being here with us. We appreciate everyone's watching. Just happy to share this. Thank you for sharing this with us. We just love having everybody here. Appreciate the input. And so thank you, and we'd love to say have a good night. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.